James, what an exciting time to be alive. We got a Star Wars trailer.
What? Is it the 2023 movie, which is definitely happening?
Yeah, it's
Sweet.
called Taika Waititi.
Okay, wait.
For
Taika Waititi is doing Thor, God of Thunder and Love and whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And he also signed on to this HBO series now. He's going to be doing an HBO series.
He has tons of projects.
Yes. Which leads me to believe that this is a whole lot of crap again on Star Wars' front. I was helping our friend Sheldon shoot a movie over this past weekend, and we didn't wear masks. We just breathed heavily in each other's faces. And I asked him and his son, both massive Star Wars fans. I asked him and his son, I said, what do you think this 2023 movie is going to happen? Neither one of them were very optimistic. Sheldon is a very optimistic person, so he thought it was, but his son didn't hesitate to say no. It was a hard no. So based on all that, Brock, how do you feel about that movie? Do you think that is happening? Do you think we are getting Star Wars in 2023?
Yeah, I'm still optimistic.
Cautiously.
I don't know. It's like, it's how we usually play it here at the Rebel Scum podcast. It's like we'd rather not know until it's here, right? So,
well, yes.
I mean, I'm jonesing for Star Wars, but also I'm jonesing for an epic Star Wars movie. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to use the term good because they're all good, but I think Star Wars needs to be like, bam! Absolutely. And I think they're totally able to do that.
Absolutely. 100% agree. But you are right. A new trailer did drop, a new Star Wars trailer, which revealed absolutely nothing about what to expect in the coming season, with the exception of it's going to be a fanboy's dream, is what it looks like. Or fangirl. I shouldn't just say
fan
fanboy.
People.
Fan peeps.
Fandom. Yeah. It was exciting, and you were the one that told me that it dropped. So there was no one knew it was dropping on, what day was that? Tuesday? Monday?
I don't know. It was just I was working, and I happened to I had a Twitter tab open, and I happened to see, we'll give a shout out to Lauren from the Galactic Podcast, tweeted an emoji of an oh my god emoji with the trailer, and I was like, well, I'm gonna pretend that I discovered this on my own, and I found it and I watched it, and then I sent it to you, Fantasia, and Rob, and my parents, and other people that were like, who is this? And I was like, watch this. What were your initial thoughts on that trailer? Like raw moment, your raw, ooh.
I didn't have any moments where I was like, whoa, right? So it's no, but that's fine because I don't want to be wowed by a trailer. I want to be wowed by the actual show itself. But wow factor is just visually it looks beautiful, and we only got, what was it, a minute and a half of it. I think seeing X-wings flying around, the scout troopers, they're on the oh god, what are they? Hi,
I speeder bikes?
I have a Star Wars podcast. Speeder bike, thank you. I was like, do you know the motorbikes that fly? Speeder bikes, they're they fall over a cliff almost, and then to zoom down the cliff, stuff like that. I was like, ooh, that's nice. That is very nice. So I was pretty happy with the trailer because it's just hooray, something. So
see, I was okay without a trailer. I was like, I knew we were gonna get one, but I was like, if we don't get one, I'm not gonna be very disappointed. If we don't get one, because I don't need that in my. I'm watching the show. Like I said, I'm watching the show October 30th. October 30th, I'm gonna wake up whenever I wake up, and I'm gonna watch the show. I'm gonna watch it. So you don't need to sell me on it. Maybe you want to. I don't know if they were trying to sell anybody on it. I think more what they're doing for maybe the non-obsessed fans of the Mandalorian, the people that have Disney Plus. They're like, just so you know, this is coming back just before your annual renewal. This is coming back, so you might want to keep your renewal happening. So for me, I watched it. And I really I enjoyed it like I enjoyed the show, if that makes any sense. Where I was like, yeah, I like this a lot. I like it a lot. Like it wasn't overwhelming. It was not underwhelming, but it just feels like I'm happy here. That's how it feels.
Exactly.
I'm very happy here. I feel comfortable. I really like it. And we're gonna do top 5 moments from the trailer later on in the show, of course. But for me, it had everything. But this time, what they didn't do with season 1, for obvious reasons, is we got Baby Yoda in this baby. Like,
exactly.
Baby Yoda's like everywhere. And I love when people are like, it's the child. Shut up. It is Baby Yoda. Everyone knows it's Baby Yoda. Don't try to pretend it's not Baby Yoda. It's just, they I thought even in this trailer, though, they used Baby Yoda just like the perfect amount. Where it's not too much. It's just enough for you to be like, damn it, I love that puppet.
Yeah. It looks so good. It's like everything. It gave you just enough. It's like,
yes,
here it's like Mandalorian and the child are hanging out there. He won't leave him behind. So it's like that. Like the season's gonna be about their relationship for sure. We see Grief. We see Cara Dune. We see a Tusken Raider. We don't see any clear villains yet. Obviously, we assume Moff Gideon's going to be in there. Yeah, it's great. There's dialogue that's a little ominous. So, yeah, it's like, if anything, it's just saying to you is like, oh, the status quo is still where it's at, and we're like, get ready, because Jon Favreau and Filoni, they deliver.
I'll say that Andrew and I did a Patreon exclusive, Never Tell Me the Odds, where we were like, what's the trailer going to be like with Moff Gideon? And I was like, I think he's going to narrate it. The Armorer narrated it from, I think, dialogue from season 1, but the Armorer narrated it, which when it happened, I was like, oh, that's brilliant. That's genius, because she's because that speech that she gives is that's setting up, I don't think maybe just the second season, but I feel like it's setting up the remainder of the series. The remainder of the series is, you got to get this child home, and to find these wizards, these sorcerers that have run rampant across the galaxy. Which leads me to another question, Brock: is the Mando searching for any Jedi without any knowledge, or does he find out that there are Jedi, and there's one Jedi named Luke Skywalker left, and he has to search out this Jedi named Luke Skywalker, who is living at this point, we don't know. He's off with Lando at this point, I would suspect, searching for artifacts and whatnot. So is Luke Skywalker, do you think, I'm not gonna say be in this series, because I don't think we need that, but is he going to be name dropped soon?
I'm not sure, because it's sort of, I think it's an easy solution to be, oh, you're gonna tangle with Jedis because you'll figure out that this creature, this child, can channel the Force. Because, like, don't forget, even though the whole franchise based around this concept of the Force and being able to wield the Force, there are parts of the galaxy that just really don't know about it, or they don't care about it, or it's an old wives' tale. So just because Mandalorian interacts with this Jedi creature, like, or Force wielding creature, like, doesn't mean he's like gonna automatically know it's the Force. I mean, it's Star Wars. We want to see a lightsaber. I mean, we've already seen a lightsaber, so. But again, the Mandalorian didn't see that lightsaber, so he won't be like, what is that? I mean, we don't even know if the Mandalorian knows of Mandalore. There's a hint at it, Mandalore the Great. So, like, there's definitely mentions of Jedi. So, I don't know. it would be I would love it. I would love to see Mark Hamill either CG or I don't know appear in this for a brief moment. But I think Mandalorian success has been on the shoulders of here's something new. They can still have a Jedi of some sort and get them to that location. I just think I think that the the origin of the child doesn't need to center around the Force. I think it needs to like, well, who is this child as a individual? It doesn't matter what it can do.
But the armor says like talks about the Jedi, and that's why. So
I know, I
he's
know.
looking for that that sorcerer thing. So I don't know if he's looking for Yoda's species. Jason Fry brought up. He tweeted out something very interesting where he said, and this is common knowledge for us, but not for everybody. That when you get into writing Star Wars, Yoda's species has always been a no. Like all you ever know about Yoda's species is Yoda, Yaddle, and the child.
Yeah.
And you were never allowed to mention the name of that species. And he said, right now we're in very intriguing waters, to paraphrase,
Yeah.
because
That's what I mean.
I mean, this could change everything. But do you want it to like? Do we need like? Does it start? Do you start to take away from things when you give us too much information on something? Like for me, right now, I haven't watched season 2 clearly, so my opinion on what I would say could change. But right now, it's like I don't think what I know of Baby Yoda right now. I don't need to know his species so much. Like about them, where did he come from? Because he could come from anywhere. He could be like Moses in the basket down the river. Like
Yeah.
it could be something like that. I mean, I guess it is important where Moses came from. But terrible, terrible analogy. But you know what I mean? It could be something like that where that's his home world's not important. His story of how he came to be in this possession is, and why he is so sought after.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like we meet Yoda, baby Yoda, in this flying pram in like this gangster hideout. How did he get there? It or she or whatever. How did this creature get there? That's what I would like to know. Yeah, you're right. Like we don't need to know the etymology of what a baby Yoda is or what planet they're from. Like, yeah, I can agree on that. But I think that that's more like just knowing how this baby, this 50-year-old baby, is just not like how did it get to be this bounty? You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. Like so you can flesh out like how
Yes.
all that Werner Herzog, how did he get involved? Or how did Werner Herzog know about it? And yeah, I mean, I think you can't avoid Jedi in Star Wars, but
Well, they've
I don't
alluded
think
to
it
it.
needs to be Luke. You know what I mean? So.
Well, no, but I'm saying I don't want Luke to be in the series, but I think right now, here's the thing, because Jedi don't exist for 20 years, right? Like the Empire has shunned them, they've wiped them from everybody's memory. Nobody remembers Jedi. It's just old wives' tales about Jedi.
Yeah.
Then comes this Luke Skywalker figure who defeats the evil Darth Vader, who defeats the Emperor and brings the galaxy back to normal, saves the galaxy. And we know that the galaxy knows this, because when we get to The Force Awakens and Last Jedi, he's become this legend, whereas Rey thinks that he's even a myth. So the galaxy knows that Luke Skywalker exists. So the Mandalorian could potentially know that this guy named Luke Skywalker is out there, and what he just heard from the armorer could make him think, oh, well, the stories I've heard about this guy match up with what the armorer just told me, so maybe I should go find this guy. That's what I'm saying. I'm not like, that's the path he could be led on. Like I said, I don't want Luke Skywalker in this. I don't need Luke Skywalker in this movie. But you know what? Rebels did a great job of putting in characters that I was like, I don't need to see like, oh, Lando does work in Rebels.
Exactly.
So I mean, maybe I'm wrong, or maybe I do need Luke Skywalker in this. I don't think we do. But I think if he is mentioned, I think it would make sense that Mando would know Luke Skywalker based on what we know from the sequels.
Sure. Yeah. Let's forget about the child for a second, let's get more origin on the Mandalorian
Yes.
himself, Din Djarin. Like, I know we get it, like, oh, he is like this because this happened in his life, and
Yeah.
this is he's with these people because of this. But there's got to be a little bit more to it. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean?
Absolutely. I'm with you. The show's
So,
called The Mandalorian.
yeah, exactly.
Which, okay, I want to cite Akbar briefly because rumors are going. I don't want to talk about the rumors because I don't care. Because you know what? I've said this a million times, but I think behind the scenes stuff is ruining our enjoyment of cinema as a whole.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need Robert Pattinson has COVID or had COVID. I hope he gets healthy. I hope, like, but when we watch the movie, people be like, "That was when he had that scene. I could tell he had COVID. I could, that's gonna happen."
I heard they restarted shooting today.
Yes,
So.
yeah. No, they won't confirm that he's back, but I mean, I'm sure there's more of the movie to shoot. And
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, but I hope he's healthy because you don't want anyone to be sick. Like, come on, let's be real. Yeah. But anyway, there's rumors going around. I think they're just rumors, but they could be more than rumors because who the hell knows? That Pedro Pascal was not. Anyway, don't worry about my room. Don't worry about but that he wasn't very happy with something, and he walked off the set. And then the second half of the season, we started to get new characters, and we kind of followed new characters as opposed to just the Mandalorian, which the show is named after. But then in that Entertainment Weekly article that came out, and I think I want to buy that magazine. I don't know if I'll ever go to a store that sells magazines in the next decade, but I'm going to try to get my hands on that. Favreau and Filoni, I don't remember who. They say though in the second half of the season they start to bring in characters, and we do follow other characters. So whether there's truth to the rumor or not, I don't know, and I don't care. Like I said, I don't know if you care. You can talk about that if you want.
I don't read the rumors, so I'm like, cool, whatever.
They're just
but like.
They're just. I actually have not read or listened to anything in depth. I've just heard like, oh, Pedro Pascal, but I don't care about that. Yeah. But there is, and Bob Iger brought it up on that call. Feels like 1,400 years ago now. Remember the shareholders call? Like I think it was like January, February, whenever it was, November maybe even, where they're going to introduce new characters and have more spin-offs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they seemingly confirmed that in Entertainment Weekly. Do you think this show, towards the end of the season, is going to branch off from The Mandalorian? Or, like, and that being said, I know we trust Favreau and Filoni, but do you think maybe we'll get too much of these side characters?
I don't know. It's, I think it seems obvious. I don't like using that word. It seems like that is the plan.
Yeah. Game of Thrones, Favreau brought up.
Yeah. So let's I think whatever gets us Star Wars content, like cool, whatever, just make it happen. So I mean, the Disney Plus is kind of open to new ideas. I mean, new ideas within the Disney realm, right? There's a new series called Earth to Ned, which is like Muppets with they're aliens that come to Earth and talk, or they're outside the orbit of Earth and they bring humans up. It's like a talk show and they learn things about Earth. It's for kids, right? But it's Muppets, so it's a Muppet humor, and I liked it a lot. And I'm like, it's in that realm of quirky humor that the Muppets always do, but it's also like, oh, this is a great idea. I'd watch this. And they put celebrities on it, so of like adults and stuff. There's like, oh, I know what that is. So that's the part for the adults. Like kids don't care, whatever. So like Disney Plus seems to be down for anything. Make whatever you want. Like it's not all gonna be great. Some people might not like it. I don't know. Like it's I think right now it's just let's make more content. We're paying $9 or $10 or $11 or what, 12. I just paid for the full year for exclusive content. So come on, Disney Plus, let's get it going. So
yeah,
I'm all down. I'm all in. So
obviously, COVID shut a lot of stuff down and delayed all that. But I mean, look, you can't blame anybody for that. It is what it is. I when I read it, I was like, oh, cool, we're gonna get new characters. That's how I saw it. Because I think people, yes, it's called The Mandalorian, and this is, I mean, aside from Solo, this is the very first thing in Star Wars ever gotten where it's solely about named after a character. Because I mean, Star Wars, like, it's the Skywalker saga 30, 40 years after they started it. is what they named it, but really it started off as a ensemble basically, where you follow Luke through it. But this is called The Mandalorian. It's a unique situation, but I think the thing we forget about Star Wars is Brock, who's your favorite Star Wars character?
Chewbacca.
Exactly. Who's like doesn't speak any English. He's not even it. Like I love. Who do I love? Watto, Sebulba, Ben Quaternaros. Yeah. Like these are just these dumb characters that serve no purpose. Like this is what Star Wars is. You bring in these characters, these side characters, and now there's an opportunity for, you know, when I was a kid, I had, you know, I still have my Hammerhead. What the hell are they? What are they called? Ithorians.
Ithorians.
They didn't have a name in 1980. Whatever I was playing with them, that was
they're called Hammerheads.
That was a Hammerhead toy, and I had that toy, and that toy would fight my Obi-Wan Kenobi toy, whose head spun around and the lightsaber went into. And that's how it was. And now there's an opportunity here for them to take these characters that are nothing and make them what we all pretended that they were when we were playing with them in our rooms as kids. Absolutely. And that's why I if there was drama, I don't care. If they're bringing in new characters, I love it. Star Wars is all about characters. I keep complaining that Canto Bight has all of these terrific looking aliens, and there's not one toy of any of these aliens. There's not one toy. How is any kid going to play with this toy and have this weird imagination about whatever the hell Warwick Davis was in that movie? But that character in some kids' head could have been something even grander, and it's just not a thing anymore because they're not doing it. So I think this is a perfect opportunity for those types of characters, which is what Star Wars is. That is the base of Star Wars. The foundation of Star Wars is these. No, it's not the foundation. The foundation is Luke, but the rest of it is all these secondhand Akbars. It's just, they're like, oh, I like that guy. Well, here you go.
Absolutely. And especially where we live in this like internet meme world where it's like, you put something weird on screen, people will like cling to it. You know?
Yeah. Well, Baby Yoda shutting the egg is already a freaking GIF.
Yeah.
And from the new trailer, like within seconds, it was GIFed and me. I'm like, this is awesome.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. I love it. I love it. You can't get enough Baby Yoda. You know what I mean? Just. I think you could. I think they could overplay Baby Yoda. I hope they. I'm curious. Like they would have started writing this before season 1 even released. By the way, Jason Sudeikis was on Conan O'Brien a little while ago. Did you hear any of that interview?
I feel like I might have, but I do not remember.
So he punches Baby Yoda, right?
Yeah.
In that last episode, second last episode, and apparently. He did it, you know, when he did it. And so he said this on Conan O'Brien, where the day that episode aired, his wife, Olivia Wilde, came in and said, "You're trending on Twitter." And he's like, "Why?" And then she was like, "'Cause you punched Baby Yoda." And he goes, and it was funny because he's like, he should have realized, you know, when Baby Yoda, because he called Baby Yoda the belle of the ball. And he said he should have realized that was going to happen, but he just was oblivious to it. And it's funny how everyone takes these things so seriously and the actors forget they're in it 2 months after they've done it. They're like, oh, yeah, I was in that Star Wars thing.
Was he actually in?
Yes. Oh, that's the other thing. Yeah, he was actually on set in the armor.
That's awesome.
He was actually there doing it, yeah. So he said, and I think it was Bill Burr was saying how Favreau would come into set and he was just the most excited guy on the planet every time they did anything. He's like, he was the most excited. And Bill Burr, who doesn't even like Star Wars, had the most fond memory, apparently. It sounds like shooting this thing. So Mandalorian, man. Mandalorian, it won those the technical Emmys. Is that what it's called? The technical Emmys. It won 5, I think. The one that blew my mind, special effects, sure. But cinematography, I was actually impressed. I really enjoy the cinematography of the Mandalorian, especially after watching what they're doing with the volume. But you know, cinematography is something that it gets me going, and I really enjoyed it in this show. Usually TV shows, like, I don't like cinematography at all. I was just watching Smallville yesterday while I was making ravioli. Don't judge me. And I was like, man, this thing looks like a TV show from the year 2000. It really does. If you want, you're like, wow. They speed up like car chases and super slow-mo things like really poorly. It's hilariously awesome.
My roommate Joe's been rewatching The Sopranos, which is still good, and it's just like when you watch it, you're like, oh yeah, like TV used to look like this.
I haven't. I have them all on DVD. I haven't watched it in a while though.
Yeah,
Everything evolves,
exactly,
You have to.
exactly. So it's yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying. There's always that argument, like, is LeBron James better than Jordan? And I can't remember who it was, but they said, well, they're like, maybe, but you'll never. First of all, you'll never know. It's not important. But secondly,
Yeah.
there's no LeBron James without Michael Jordan, and there's
Yeah.
always that succession, right? So the
Yeah.
future always learns from whether they want to acknowledge it or not. The future will always learn from the past, and hopefully grow from the past and become better than that. So you can't have one without the other, and that's how it is with TV shows. And here we are with The Mandalorian season 2, all blue. Any planets? Do you think you see any planets in this one that you recognize, that you love, anything like that?
In the trailer?
Yeah.
I asked myself that question because we see a lot of Aqualish, yeah, no, Quarians,
Yeah, Quarrens, yeah.
Quarians. So I was like, ooh, is this Mon Cala? Because they live on that planet too. I don't know if they live on any other planets, or we just might be on a water planet and just happen to be on a dock where there's a ship with all Quarians. So
Filoni wants to go there. I feel like Filoni wanted to go. He was like, John, you know what you should do? Go to a water planet. I'll name it, but we go there. I feel like that was all him. I mean, we even see Mon Cala alien in episode 2, 3, 4. The bounty that he actually accepts is for that.
The first episode.
Is that? I thought it was after he brought the child in, and then he went back to Greek.
Right, yeah.
I don't know. I've only seen it 14 times. I actually don't. It might be one. Anyway, we do see one, so we know that that's something that they're thinking about, obviously. But the snow planet, I've read a lot of people theorizing, guessing that it could be the one from Jedi Fallen Order.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, what's that one called? Ilum? I haven't played much of that game still.
I don't hate it, but it's just a place so you can get your holocron crystal. Holocron?
Yeah. I also somebody thought it
not
could
holocron. That's not right.
Somebody thought it could be Hoth.
I mean, I feel like that's the immediate choice. It could be the planet that they do the train robbery in Solo, for all we know.
You know what? Actually, I gotta say, Danny, one of our viewers, Danny, she mentioned that she thought it was "Hear Me Out" from Solo, and I was like, "Ooh, that's a
Kyber crystal." That's the word I've been saying. I'm like holocron. That's
welcome to our Star Wars podcast. Please subscribe to our Patreon. Okay, before we get go on. No, go on. Go on.
No. The only thing I like about if it's Ilum is like, ooh, let's connect to Fallen Order. Thank you, please. Just make a Fallen Order show. There you go. You already have an actor.
They're making the game though, like a second game.
So make a movie. Who cares?
I'm with you. I'd watch it. I'd probably watch it before I finish the game. To be honest, I got to finish that game.
Absolutely.
It's getting colder out. Colder is when I start to like to play video games a lot more. Because when it was the summertime, I'm like, I could play a video game, or I could go outside and just melt away in the heat, and that's what I did for most of the summer. Okay, before we get into Never Tell Me the Odds, because Never Tell Me the Odds is all about this. When Jedi and everything is mentioned, we cut to a hooded figure who is none other than WWE superstar, aka I believe Snoop Dogg's cousin.
Yep.
Sasha Banks. Who I don't know if she was confirmed to be in it or rumored, but obviously now it is confirmed she is a part of this. And whatever role she has, they felt the need to throw her in the trailer.
Yeah.
Which is causing a lot of stir. What was your first thought? I'll tell you, Rob McDonald. Darth Ward's first thought was Ahsoka. He was wrong. What? I don't know. He's you know what? He's in Prince Edward Island in the hotel with really shoddy internet, and that's what he blamed it on. So maybe it was all pixelated and it made it look like Ahsoka more with the pixelations of it. I don't know. But
He's
you see,
not in like the Arctic. I was in the PEI, and the internet's fine there. Well, Rob's
okay.
ridiculous.
Well, anyway, he watched it again. He said, well, it's definitely not Ahsoka. And I said, did you actually think it was? Because anyway. So that was Rob's. But what was your first thought of the hooded figure?
I loved it because I I I've watched Sasha Banks wrestle. I follow her on Instagram. She seems pretty hyped about not about Star Wars per se, but like her career in WWE. Um, she's the kind of person you want to throw into these things because she's pretty good at doing like probably stunts, if you want to call that for wrestling. I don't know what she's like as an actual actor, as a character, unless she just is her same wrestling persona in the thing. I think it's a good move because it's just like, bam! Remember we dropped this news that she's in it. She's in the trailer. Take it. So
Yeah.
I thought it was good because it still doesn't reveal anything. It gives you one. It's like, oh, they didn't show us anything new. They just showed us pictures of or images of our existing cast. It's like, no, here you go. There's one person. it's not Ahsoka, but like, no, just sit on Ahsoka. We know she's gonna be in it somehow.
Yeah.
So
I don't show me Ahsoka till
allegedly.
Ahsoka's there. Like, don't.
Absolutely.
Again, I mean, I didn't need the trailer to begin with, but I'll say this: I didn't. I'm not as familiar with Sasha Banks as you are.
Yeah.
So did you know that was her right away?
Yeah.
Okay. So I had no idea. And then somebody posted somewhere, and I was like, oh yeah, cool. Fine. I think you're right with the stunts and all the coordinating, kind of like Gina Carano, like that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. But for me, I loved it because it just cut to this hooded figure, and you're like, well, they're wearing a hood, something's up. that was my thought. I was like, ooh, I like hooded figures. What's going on here? So I was really intrigued. I hope that's the first episode of the show. Because hooded figure is always exciting to see, as far as I'm concerned, because there's always an air of mystery to them. If you remember, not to beat it, but Ahsoka in Rebels was a hooded figure when we first met Ahsoka in Rebels. Yeah. And Luke at the beginning of Return of the Jedi is a hooded figure at the beginning of that. There's a mystique, a Star Wars mystique, especially when they're wearing hoods. I absolutely love it. I think they CG'd or put in Rey has a hood in Rise of Skywalker, but it's a white hood. But hoods are phenomenal. She's there. Is she a good guy? Is she a bad guy? You don't know. She's just waiting in the wings there, just like something's at play with that character. And I'm really curious what it is. And because people are talking about how she's shown when they mention Jedi or Sith or whatever. And they're like, oh, is she a Jedi? Is she a Sith? But maybe she's just somebody who's trying to track down Force users or something, and knows that Baby Yoda's out there, and she knows that the name is actually Baby Yoda.
Yeah, I could see her as a character that gets you to another character, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So who knows? We'll see. Yeah, I was just looking at Sasha Banks' Instagram. She did post about the Mandalorian, but it wasn't. It seems to be pretty tight-lipped on it. I'm sure they're told. Yeah. Everyone's told like, don't talk about this. Just promote it when we promote it, and that's that. But yeah.
Oh, they're schooled in it for sure.
Yeah. So I was like, perfect. Yeah, perfect. So, and because we saw, if you remember the original trailers and then what actually happened in the Mandalorian, it's like, it's not as predictable as we think it is. So just because I would say, let's put her in because I'm sure she's important, but she's not the big.
Yeah, she's not
reveal, right? So
she's not good.
I hope she gets a lot of screen time. I think she's a great. I don't know, what do you call a performer? I guess I was like actress. I'm like, what do you call a wrestler? Actor, actress. Performer,
entertainer. Yeah, no, I'm with you too. All right, odds?
Yeah.
Never tell me the odds.
Never tell the odds. Brought to you and me and
by
everyone.
Odds Makers.
Our odds makers, the Patreons that support us. Thank you so much for supporting us. I still don't understand why people like what we do, but we appreciate that they're a nice group of people.
It's because the way we break things down and we have to Google Kyber crystal.
Yeah, that's right. Our Patreons are executive producer Heidi Feder, Barry Brophy, Dennis Allen, Mary Kristen Athon, Jeff Wilson, Phil Stanifor, Sooner Thrawn, Scott D, Andy Higgins, Josh Price, Mason Hope,
Matt W. Rez, Frank Perkins, Neil Lowry, D. Raven, Spencer, Gleek Play 1, Automated Joy, Charlotte, Kayla Davis, Aaron Quinton, Jericho Kane, Girls with Sabers, and the Den of Nerds.
Yeah.
Den of Nerds going full on rumor mill with that Pedro Pascal story. I didn't watch I didn't watch the video.
I mean, I'm not surprised. That's what that channel does.
That's what Josh does.
Keep up with all what's being talked about, and that's cool. I would tread lightly, though, as much as Pedro Pascal, fantastic actor. I like everything I've seen him in. But The Mandalorian is a show about a guy that wears a helmet and doesn't like taking off the helmet, even though we have seen his face. You could be easily written out, and you could just get a voice actor that can somewhat sound like you.
Yeah, if there were any yeah, exactly. It's
I don't
strange.
want to go there, but
no, it is strange that they got anybody. They could have got freaking Steven Stanton to play him. You know, like they could have.
Yeah.
And it didn't ultimately matter, but
yeah.
But I think also it does. I think I like what he brought to the character. He brought this coldness to him that I thought was great, and it fit with the movements of the other two performers they had in there. Sure. Like his voice didn't clash with them. It wasn't like, "Hey, how's everybody doing?" Like it fit. You believed it all.
Absolutely.
So, anyway, the odds. Thank you, Patreon, for all of your support. It really means a lot to us. Our first odd is Sasha Banks connected to Lore Santeca.
I like this one. I'm gonna go 40%. I like it. I don't know.
I like it, but I don't love it. I like.
It's. I would like Lars Santeca to make an appearance. So, but I'm gonna go 40%. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 35. I feel like Lore Santeca, aside from maybe like comics and maybe a blurb in a book, I think he's done. I don't think we get much mention of Lore Santeca. And you know what? Yeah. When I'm wrong, I will eat my words. The next one, will Sasha Banks be portraying a former Jedi? Is she an old Jedi that survived Order 66 and is now living in a hood on planets on the run? I wear this hood to disguise my identity.
Sure, but it's boring to me. You know what I mean? Like, oh, another Jedi. He survived Order 66. Or it's a Sith Lord that... Or not Sith Lord, a Sith.
What if she's Darth Maul? She's always like, Kenobi!
Hey, you know what? I mean, well, how does it work?
Maul's dead.
No, he's dead.
But he has a robotic heart.
Like some kind of, not a shapeshifter per se, but like someone that has like a thing that like changes their appearance.
I'm down for another Zem Wessel's daughter.
But not a shapeshifter, is what I'm saying.
I want a shapeshifter. I'm going to go...
It's a pre-existing character that's hiding its appearance by looking like Sasha Banks.
Ooh.
With like a holla, something like that.
Watto returns. 11%. 11% for me.
But I am going to go, again, I find the idea of like, it's a Jedi that survived. I mean, or it could be a Jedi from Luke's thing, you know. I don't know. I know it's the timeline doesn't really match up. And a hood doesn't mean Jedi automatically. I mean,
how dare you?
Do you remember a little character named Garridan or Long Snoot from a little movie called A New Hope?
And also Mandalorian season 1. And he was a Jedi.
He was wearing a hood.
he was a Jedi. We just weren't privy to that information.
Yeah, okay.
What percentage?
No, I'm gonna go 25%.
I'm 11. Final odd today. The odds of Sasha Banks' character. Oh, is Sasha Banks' character a character we've already met in Star Wars, Brock? You kind of already alluded to that in your last one. Yeah. But will Sasha Banks be playing a character we have already met in Star Wars?
0%. Come on. Just make new characters.
I'm with you. I'm gonna go 17% because I have to give a different number than you. But yeah, make new characters, and this character looks intriguing without this character being a pre-existing character already, because she's got a hood on, and hoods are intriguing.
Exactly.
All right, here we go. It's time for Hollow News. Hollow News. Hollow News. My mic is
off. Hollow News, the news you need to know right now. Adidas is back at it again with the Adidas. No, Adidas has teamed up with Star Wars yet again to just put out a designer Adidas shoe in the theme of Star Wars. This time, Chewbacca will be given his own high top style shoe, featuring a neutral tone color palette to represent the sci-fi desert landscape, and hardware embossed with the words Star Wars on each shoelace. It's basically covered in fur. There's a little strap that goes across the laces that looks like his bandolier, and his beautiful furry face is right on the tongue of the shoe. I can't. I don't know what to say. I might need to get these shoes. They are awesome. I believe they'll be released later this year, but just go out and check out Adidas.com. I'm sure it's all over that page. Also, in being creative, Redditor David Ruins Art, who is the proprietor of Arrowhead Vintage and Handmade Goods in Canton, Ohio, has been using his time in quarantine to get a little artistic by taking old paintings from uh, places like vintage stores or I don't know, maybe not pawn shops, but paintings of, like pastoral scenes, forestry, mountains, and adding Star Wars things into them, specifically stuff like an AT-AT walking over a horizon line with R2 looking on, or a bunch of TIE fighters. He said, I started making these designs because I owned a vintage store and had some real beautiful landscapes, but he couldn't sell for $5. I think I had one for 2 years and was thinking about just throwing it away and keeping the frame, but I decided to give it a shot and added an ATSD that had fallen over the Ewoks. If I had fallen over with Ewoks fishing off of it. And with that, like, it went viral. He posted it on Reddit or his website. I'm not quite sure, and people went nuts for it. So even in these dire times where it's scary to go outside, someone was able to be creative and recycle. Recycling is good, kids. And in our final story, Liam Neeson, ever heard of him? Well, he was being interviewed recently on, I forget what show it is. Hold on the Andy Cohen Sirius XM radio show. He was being interviewed for whatever. I don't know if Liam Neeson's is anything new. I'm sorry. But the topic of Phantom Menace was brought up, and then the inevitably got to the hatred about Jar Jar Binks. And Liam Neeson said this: I know a lot of fans and critics didn't like it, and my lovely friend Ahmed Best, who played Jar Jar Binks, came in for a lot of criticism, to the point where it really hurt his career. And I have to say, when I was making that film, he was probably one of the funniest guys and talented guys I had ever worked with. I remember calling my old ex-agent at ICM and said, I think I just worked with the next Eddie Murphy. And he says, I still believe that. So shout outs from Liam Neeson to Ahmed Best. Like, come on, guys. Put the hate aside and just realize they were all trying their best. So love for Jar Jar from Qui-Gon Jinn. And this has been your Hollywood News. Hello News.
Jar Jar rules.
Yeah.
I don't care what nobody say. Jar Jar rules. Top five moments from the trailer. Trailer was okay. Give it a solid 2 out of 10. Kathleen
too long, did not read.
Too long. Kathleen Kennedy once again ruining Star Wars.
I'm impressed. No, like Star Wars fans haven't blamed Kathleen Kennedy for COVID yet. Like,
You clearly haven't researched the interwebs hard enough.
That's right. I don't research garbage.
Hello. No, you know what? I'll bet you somebody has said that because, gosh darn it. Masks up. Top 5 moments of the trailer. The opening shot for me. That opening shot was dope.
What's the opening shot?
The planet and the ship. It was like, I was like, where are we?
I was like, ooh, the plane comes over the horizon. I'm like, Earth.
Yeah. Spoilers.
My number 5 was, oh God, I had it in my head. Oh, I mean, we already had seen it. It wasn't a huge reveal, but it was nice to see the new Mandalorian banner with similar to the first season, but now the child is standing right beside the Mandalorian. I was like, yeah.
Sure. No, it's good. Number 4 will come as a surprise, but the hooded lady. Are you wearing a hood? You're mysterious, and I like it.
Number 4 for me, I like to see. Oh God, I had it saved here. The Abyssian. I just couldn't remember the Abyssian, the Cyclops like creature that you first saw in the Mos Eisley Cantina scene. He's talking to the Mandalorian at what looks. Oh, sorry, I was gonna say the circus. But it's the Gamorrean guards having a wrestling. How did we have not yet talked about that? That's amazing. They're at this wrestling match, which, why could there possibly be a Sasha Banks scene in that? Anyways, I liked that he is talking to Mandalorian in basic, so you understand, and also you realize he's narrating part of the trailer. So it's like, Farragut's like, who's voicing that? And it's like a whole new character. So perhaps I didn't really listen to the voice enough. Perhaps that might be Michael Biehn. I know that's not what he's supposed to be, but like,
well, he's not supposed to be anything. He hasn't been announced.
Yeah,
so that's a great one. My number three is the Scout Troopers being rad on their bikes. Bring it! I'm all in. All in.
Yeah, my number 3 is similar. I just love the visuals of the X-Wings flying around and the Scout Troopers, like I said earlier in the podcast, is just like, ooh, yeah, give us as much as that as possible.
My number 2, Gamorrean guards. The thing that I liked about it was remember when the second season or the first season, when the first season began, Favreau immediately tweeted out that Gamorrean guard sculpture, the sculpt of the and so that was the first emoji we saw from season 2. And they were in here, so it was almost like you can get excited for them, but don't get too excited because they're basically just going to be fighting in a ring. So, but remember that this is what it was. It was a nice little callback to that moment. And Gamorrean guards are one of my favorite Star Wars creatures, so I was super excited and stoked to see them in there.
This will probably be your number 1, but I'm going to say number 2 is the scene with the child in that floating pram, and they're about to fight, and it just closes up.
Hell yeah, that's my number 1.
And it closes up, and then it just goes black, and then you hear what sounds like the Mandalorian fighting whoever's there. But when I first heard it, I thought it was like it was gonna go black, and it because it's the sound of like metal moving and stuff. I thought it would come back, and he's like morphed into like a Zord of some sort, like it's like a full
my gosh
attack, whatever. But I thought that was great. It's just like boom. He's like, hey, by the way, everyone, Baby Yoda's that's just as great as last season.
That's absolutely my number 1 because Baby Yoda is the best and there's nothing better. So what can you top that with?
Oh, did you do your number 2?
My number 2 is Gamorrean guards.
All right, cool. My number 1 is we don't know anything about the show still. Boom, 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 boom.
I'm just drinking my water.
Yeah, good. Cool.
Stay hydrated, peeps. Stay hydrated. That's what it counts in this life. That's our top 5 today. Let us know what your top 5
What was your number 1?
Baby Yoda.
Oh, okay.
It was Baby Yoda doing exactly
You're
what you said.
like, "Blah, blah, blah.
No,
Look at my
it was
water."
what you
What's
said. I
happening?
kept saying that's my number one while you were saying it. You just talk over me. God.
Oh, right.
Wow. Wow. Not the other way around.
Wow.
184 episodes, I think. I don't know. I lost count. Should we just stop naming these the number that we're doing and just be like, we've done these for 4 years? Okay, we'll keep the numbers going. Because when we get to 4,000, it's going to get tedious to name these.
Yeah, sure. But we'll be 90 years old by then.
I'll be long gone.
By the way,
I bought both a Halloween decoration today and a Christmas decoration today, and I did not care. I loved every second of doing both because you know what?
Sure.
I'm getting older right now. I don't have much time left, and I was like, I'm going to enjoy Christmas while I can and Halloween. I'm going to blend them together like Tim Burton. I don't really care.
Oh, absolutely. I was like, ooh, I should get out the Halloween stuff now. Not put it up per se, but like, I'm like,
prepare yourself.
I'm going to get some, I want to see what I have. And like, okay, this can be the fall decorations for the house. Just like, yeah, it's fun.
Yeah,
it's the time of year where you start decorating things.
Exactly. Our friend Dwayne said that they call them the BER, the BER months. BER. And I said, what does that mean? He goes, September, October, November, December. He didn't come up with it. His friend did. He called it the Philippine. The Philippines refer to it as the BER months. And I was like, that is brilliant. I love it. And I'm going to keep that. Anyway, 184 episodes. Brock, thanks so much. It's been a blast.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say?
No. Star Wars.
Yeah, you wouldn't have anything to say because you were always scum.
Rebel scum.
Hey scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.